Probably you clicked this video because the concept of money interest is so appealing, interesting, and fascinating. And you never wondered about the dirty side of it. You just deposit your money in the bank, you have nothing to do, your money just keeps rising without you essentially having to do anything with the money. But notwithstanding, you never wondered about the dirty side of money interest, the dark truth behind money interest, how the concept of money interest has been abused, and how banks use this abusive definition of interest to steal both your money and my money. So stick with me here in this video and let's unveil and uncover everything you need to know. First, I want to give a short talk on the history of interest and how it came into existence so we can have a full understanding of how the concept of interest is actually being operated. Literally and basically, the word interest comes from the Greek word interesi, or whatever it's pronounced, I don't know, which basically means a punishment for defaulters. So abiding and following this simple definition of interest, it means it's only if and only if you refuse to pay your debt at the due time that when you should pay interest. So for instance, if someone borrows $1 million to be paid after 12 months, after 1 year, if he or she fails to repay the 1 million after 12 months, that's when he or she should pay the interest. But today, even if you pay at the right time, even if you pay beyond or farther than the right time, you still definitely have to pay interest. Meaning the definition of interest today has been modified. Okay, now let's talk about how exactly banks steals both your money and my money using this simple definition of interest. Okay, if you go to the bank to deposit your money, for instance, $1 million, banks don't store money. They don't store money. Immediately you deposit the money, the bank gives this money to people who want to borrow it. For instance, if you deposit $1 million at 1% interest rate for every 6 months, meaning for every 6 months that your money still remains with the bank, you're going to be having an extra $10,000 added to your money, which is your first deposit. The money, which is $1 million I talked about, is being given to people who want to borrow it, and the bank is going to charge them at a higher interest rate, and probably maybe now 7%. So whoever is borrowing $1 million at an interest rate of 7% for every 6 months, he or she will definitely have to pay $70,000. Now, this is where the money stealing actually comes into play. Bank is using your money, giving it to people and charging them at a higher interest rate. You, the customer or the client who created or opened an account with the bank, should be the one getting higher percentage of the money, if not completely the total money, because the bank may be like they're serving as broker, they're serving as intermediary for you and the borrower. They are linking both you who have the money and the borrower who wants to borrow the money. But it shouldn't be the bank that should have higher proportion of the money, but instead you, the customers and clients that created and opened an account with the bank. Because today interest is being seen as a reward for borrowing out your money, but instead the bank is borrowing out your money and they're the one getting the reward, which is not supposed to be. You are supposed to be the one getting the reward. I mean the customers and the clients who created accounts with the bank, not the bank getting your reward. And that's how bank steals your money. And that's exactly how bank is stealing both your money and my money. So this is just like someone who has a real estate broker who helps him sell and buy houses. So whenever he sells a house, the money goes directly into the owner's account, while the owner actually rewards the broker who serves as intermediary between the house owner and the house buyer. So the owner of the house is going to reward the broker with a smaller percentage of the money he actually received. So the bank should be receiving smaller percentage, not the customer who deposited the money. The real dirty side of money interest. Today, if you check on Google the main definition of interest, interest is being defined as a reward for giving out or lending out your money, which isn't the real definition why the concept of money interest came into definition. Literally, originally, interest should be paid if and only if you fail to pay your debt at the due time. but simply because I don't know who did it, maybe the bank, the definition was being manipulated and being amended. Following this simple definition of interest, which is your reward for lending out your money, you think lending out your money to a poor person can actually help them, and you will think giving out your money to someone or a business owner at a high interest rate will favor them, and that's going to bring us to our first dirty side of money interest. It hinders the economy. It can lead to economic recession. You're charging business owners, you're charging entrepreneurs a high interest rate for them to borrow your money. Okay, even if they are able to borrow the money, definitely for every output or product that company or entrepreneur is producing, they are going to increase the price. Meaning prices of products, produce and services in the community or the country at large is definitely going to rise, and few people are going to be able to afford it, which may lead to a persistent increase or a persistent situation where a country can suffer great economic recession. So the concept of money interest, which has been abused today because people and banks are just charging it exorbitantly to business owners, can lead to economic recession, even economic depression. And also, one of the dirty sides of money interest is it makes individuals, communities, society, or even countries get poorer. Take for instance, just look at this country. They are currently on debt and they haven't paid the debt. They are even being asked to pay another concept which comes into position, which is the interest on debt. For instance, if this country I'm talking about is owing $1 million and they are being charged 7% interest rate for every 6 months. So if this country don't pay their $1 million after the 6 months, they're definitely going to be charged interest on debt. Now this is where the annoying part of this interest on debt comes in. This country have not been able to pay their capital $1 million which they borrowed. They've not been able to pay their interest, which they are going to pay back, which is $70,000. That is, the interest rate is 7%, and now they are now being charged another interest on debt, probably maybe 2% for every 2 months of delay. If this country keeps delaying their debt, for every 2 months which they delay paying the capital and the interest, they are definitely going to pay $500. That's if they are being charged 2% interest on debt rates. Can you see how this is so terrible and how it can have profound impact on the life of so many people? So many people have gotten their life wrong because the concept of money interest has been abused and interest is just being charged at a very high rate. Okay, now going back to the first part of this video where I talked about how banks actually steal your money. If I was the one, after realizing this, I don't think depositing money is the safest thing to do. I'm not saying you shouldn't deposit money at the bank. You definitely have to save your money in the bank. But instead of depositing your money in the bank for the sole purpose of you getting a mere $10,000 after 6 months, I'm going to just invest the money in a safe investment. I think that is even smarter than keeping the money in the bank and let bank add $10,000 after 6 months. For disclaimer purpose, this is not a financial advice. I'm not saying you should do it. I'm not recommending you do it. But if I was the one, after realizing this, I'm going to start investing more in safer investments if I'm so terrified of losing my money. So I'm just going to invest in safe investments instead of depositing my money in the bank for mere $10,000. So with this short video, I think I've been able to create awareness about how banks actually steal your money so we can be aware of it. I'm not saying you shouldn't save your money in the bank any longer. I'm not saying you should start investing without you having solid and strong knowledge about investment. No, but with this, I've been able to shed light on how banks operate and how the concept of money interest has damaged a lot of things so far. Thank you for watching. Stick with me, subscribe for more interesting content like this, and also don't forget to like this video.